Okay, we're in Lima and you're looking at a floor, obviously. It's been taken up. I just chiseled up the tiles. And over top of those tiles was padding. Over top of that was carpeting. Carpeting in the bathroom doesn't work out so well. Anyway, they had a metal tub in here. This is an old metal tub, not a clawfoot, just a metal tub. So I came in here and went through the closet. And turned off the water in the basement. And I'm working on that still. But I hooked up the hot water. Hot water, there's a little drip there. Don't worry about that. But hooked up the hot and cold water lines using some adapters you see there. These adapters, they just screw into your manifold. I busted the shower out. Probably 12-pound sledgehammer. Just hammered it, busted it in little pieces. That's how I got it out of here. Because I wouldn't have to try to pick that thing up, weighs 400 pounds. I broke it in little pieces, shards of porcelain's going to go everywhere, so you got to wear ear protection and you got to wear eye protection. So anyway, underneath was all rotted up, so we put a new subfloor in. You're looking at tools that you got to use to do this kind of work, like grinders, special cutting gear on it. You need drills and stuff like that. So you got to take out. Usually, you got to take out the vanity and the toilet, and sometimes there's screws in the wall, sinks on. The screws you usually got to cut off. They all get all rusty. You got to cut the bolts off of these things. You got to have wrenches to take all your plumbing supplies off. Hopefully your valves are good. You have to replace valves. But anyway, we had to take off all the loose material around this wall. It's all falling off. Okay, this is part two. I had pulled the old tub out, which I broke up with a sledgehammer. In here was an old metal tub, and the walls were just real thin vinyl. And the walls were caving in here. So what does it take to install one of these showers? And usually the bathtubs come in 30 or 32 or 34. So in a case like this, I had to move the register over about an inch to the right. When you have an old register like that, you end up having to sand it down and paint it. You got to take all the tile off the wall. In this case, you see where I put the tile back on and just put some grout in there. I mean, this is a rental house, so it doesn't have to be 100% superior. But for the condition of the home, which is in good condition, it's fair to good, you know, we got it to look halfway decent. And, you know, get the tile back on the wall and make it look like it belongs. Try to get the tiles back flat and squares. With the whole complicated part is when you rip out walls with gypsum behind them and plaster and old building materials, you got to rebuild the walls to get the tiles to lay flat. And in this case, I used the same material I used on the floor, which is 1/4-inch plywood, and I just kept putting layers in the wall, and I put some studs in the wall and some insulation because these walls were not insulated. So I insulated all the bathroom walls. You've probably never seen nothing like that, you know. Recent times, usually they put them in the ceiling. So it had to be cut down to modify it so it would fit. Put the cover back on with a couple screws. But you know, the trim, you know, you're gonna have a lip around these things. You got to get some vinyl. This stuff here is vinyl. I just glued it on with silicone, and you know, it just creates a nice little border for, you know, it's a nice little finished job. So you'll see the screws and stuff, or glue, or whatever you got. In some cases, it'll beat up. I put the tile right up to the shower here, but I went ahead and covered the crack there. And you know, you could have done another way. You could have just brought it down to here and then you could have filled in the crack on the edge with another material. But I wanted it to be uniform, going all the way down to match both sides. I just thought it looked better to follow the contour of the in white all the way down. And so it's personal preference. Actually, you could have stopped it here. Just had it cut off, glued to the wall. But I just thought this would look better, so that's what I chose to do. On the vinyl floor, and I took up like 2 layers of carpet and tiles. So once you pull the toilet, it's gonna change the flange height. In this case, the flange came up higher than the floor, so I put a new subfloor down to raise it back up to the level of the flange. So the toilet would have something to, the seal would have something to bite to. You don't want the toilet sitting on your flange; it'll definitely leak. And I just went in, you had to use their old toilet and their old vanity again in this rental. So everything was fine. Put it all back together. In the process of doing all this, you'll have to help your renter or your person living here. You have to put the toilet back in a couple times, maybe on a wood floor. It's a pain, but that's what I did. Anyway, handles and stuff. These are just $50 set. Nothing real expensive. Only manifold in the back. You'll have to, if you do this, you'll have to go through a wall or a closet. Usually you have a panel in the back. And you have to have some plumbing skills to, I use quick connect fittings a lot of times to make it quicker. So you have to look at directions inside of your kit. And anyway, this is what it looks like when you're done. When you install a bathtub, you are going to have to, like I said, take out the wall because it's a 60-inch tub, and the wall from here to the wall over there, it's stud to stud. So you do have to do things like move toilets, vents, vanities. Then you got to take out all the tile on each side, and you got to put your tub in here, and you got to try to slide it in, and you got to put it all back together. So just replacing a tub is no it's no one-day job. It can take you a couple days to get this all done and get it all level and right. I even put a new subfloor underneath the tub because the other floor was rotted out and dry rotted. So simple job, and it ends up costing about $600 in materials, and if you hire someone else, it's going to cost a couple $1,000 to get all the work done, like in this case, which isn't a lot for a bathroom to go from what it was to what it is now. It just totally improved it by, it's going to make the house sell or make it hold its value for a lot longer now. So that is what it is. If you have any more questions, you can contact me or leave a note here. It's Dave's Handyman Express and HVAC Services.